Welcome to NG Motor Collective. This is the Motorcycle Maintenance Basics series, and this is video 2, all about brakes, how to change fluid, change pads, clean and keep on top of your brakes. You will likely need 2 spanners. For me, on the Honda Fireblade, it's an 8mm and an 11. You'll need some clear pipe, a toothbrush, a screwdriver, a torque wrench, a wrench, in this case it's a 14mm, some brake fluid, some gloves and plenty of rags. We're going to take off the cap. In this particular case I'm using a normal Phillips screwdriver. The next step is to take this nipple off here. This is the bleed nipple. I've now attached the hose to the nipple and the spanner below. We're then now going to put the hose into a drain effectively. In this case I'm using an old bottle of brake fluid, and just secure that somewhere safe so you don't spill anything. First things first, ensure that the reservoir is full of brake fluid, which it is. We're then going to crack this nut, so just crack it. We're going to start pulsing and pumping the brake lever, and this is going to force fluid down through the hoses into the caliper and then out into the bottles. Pump, open, close, release, and then repeat. Pump, open the valve, close, release. Do not let the reservoir become empty, otherwise you'll end up sucking air into the system and you don't want that. We're now going to top up the fluid. The reservoir is now full. In order to speed the process up, and because we've got a sealed system, you could and can open and continue to pump to get the fresh fluid to move through the system. The right hand side of the bike is now done with fresh fluid in this caliper. We're now going to move round to the other side. So the left hand side is the exact same, except you have a slightly different setup. Obviously now you've got a stretch to the brake lever over here, whilst also using the spanner on the left hand side. I'll try and demonstrate. Same setup here. So pump, release, close. Just use a rag to clean around the nipple, making sure there's no fluid. And then just going to quickly nip the nipple on the top, not too tight. And then we're going to replace the dust cap. And that is that caliper done. Repeat on the next side. We've topped up the fluid again, and now we just need to bleed the master cylinder, which is located just here. This is an 11mm, and we do it in the exact same way with the same equipment, but we just need to bleed this area here and the actual piston to make sure there's no air in that area. So it's the same setup as before. We're taking the dust cap off the bleed valve. We put the 11mm socket on, the clear hose, and that's going up to a disposable bottle. And it's simply the same again, is you will pull the lever in, crack the spanner, close the valve again, and then release. We're going to do this until the fluid drops between the minimum and maximum, probably somewhere like halfway. Just give this bleed nut a little nip, not too tight. Get this area cleaned down. And finally pop on the dust cap. The brakes are now bled and the fluid has been changed. It's now time to inspect the brake pads and look for the condition of the inside of the caliper. So remove these bolts and then just slide the caliper off the brake disc. We've got 4 pistons here, and the 2 brake pads. These brake pads are in good condition and do not need replacing just yet. So to remove the pads, simply, in this particular caliper, slide them into the middle, like so, and then remove. And then we'd inspect in here, these are very clean, but in order to clean a caliper, use a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, some warm soapy water, and literally scrub all the way into all the nuts and crannies, especially around the pistons, ensuring all the brake dust is removed and the calipers are perfectly clean. Install the pads, push the pistons back into their recesses. This gives maximum clearance to allow the pad to be easily reinstalled. Do one at a time, like so. The pads are now back in the caliper and this is ready to be reinstalled back onto the brake disc. Put the bolts back in. You can apply some copper grease to the threads just to ensure that the bolts come off easily next time. You'd then torque these up on this particular bike to 40 Newton meters. There is a way of installing pads correctly to ensure perfect alignment, and I will do another video on that. Finally, before riding, just ensure to squeeze the brake lever. As you see, it goes all the way back to the bar. This is just pushing the pads back against the disc, and now we've got a nice firm brake. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful. Please do subscribe and please watch out for further videos in the future.